Black Quest. It is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. So you know what that means. It's Black and White with Brian Rundle and the phenomenal Lana Quest. Lana, yes, the answer to your question is yes. Basketball was definitely part of that. And yeah. I'm playing against people way younger than I am, and it's not a good idea.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It's Absolutely. A very bad idea. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here, more awake than I was, I think, last Tuesday. I was struggling, but I'm good today.
Yeah, every day is a new day, and sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I don't know if I could do it today, but I think once I finally get out of bed, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm sure you've been keeping up with what's going on over the last few days, week. I was talking to some people earlier, and we were discussing that sometimes we need a mental break from the news.
Yeah.
So if you take 2-3 days off, it's a nice mental break. The biggest problem is that in those 2 or 3 days, it piles up so much that everything now that you have to register over those last 2 or 3 days makes you feel like I shouldn't have come back.
Absolutely. You can't take a break. But I do. I make myself break on the weekend. I don't listen to it. I used to listen to The Weekend with Simone Sanders, Michael Steele, and I forget her name. Always I forget her name. But they're not on the weekends anymore. They're on the evenings. Yeah. So actually, I think they're on now. So I don't watch. I don't like that new show. But
yeah. I'm the same way. I'm much less on the weekends, as far as, reading and I'll still get on some of the social media sites and scroll through. But of course, as much things do not happen on the weekends either as they do during the week, unless, then of course the Sunday morning shows. And then you got to see what this dipshit said on Sunday morning with Kristen Welker, which funny enough is how we are going to start the show. If you did see Donald Trump do the full interview with Kristen Welker, well, then you are a way better person than I am, because there's no way I could sit through a full interview with Donald Trump. I didn't watch the full interview that he did with Terry Moran the week before. I did not watch the one with Kristen Welker, but I did see the clips. And of course, the same ridiculous nonsense that this guy comes up with constantly continues to go through. And Lana, I think you and I have talked about this before. In these interviews, what do you do as far as real-time fact-checking? Because we know that it's almost a game that you can't play anymore with this guy, because you could sit there and you may get stuck on a topic for 10 minutes when you got a million things to ask him, because he's going to argue to the death about what he's lying about. So is the strategy to give him the rope and just say, let this guy lie like crazy and then we will direct it later? Or how long do you go with trying to correct him?
Right. Just give him the rope. And I really think that that's what Kristen Welker does. I know people hate her for some reason. I mean, I think we Democrats just really got to be more sensible about things, because
didn't she do one of the she did one of the debates, I think, and I think people didn't like her performance or something.
I mean, they don't like that she's talking to Trump. They feel like she's normalizing him. But let me say this. If it wasn't for Kristen Welker, how are we getting the things that he's saying? Because he will sit down with her. And if you really pay attention, she asked him questions to try to bait him into that moment. I watched it, and she does do that. She'll keep at the Constitution, right? She's baiting him into those things so that we actually have fuel for Monday to talk about, because Trump said he's not, he doesn't know the Constitution. And actually he swore to, so I feel like if she does anything more, he's just going to say, I'm not sitting down to talk to you anymore. And then
he'll get up and leave right in the middle of it.
Exactly. And then there's nobody. And what good does that do? I know we're sick of hearing him, but what good does that do when we don't have anyone who's actually, because she's actually asking him questions, right?
And the only ones controlling the press outside of that would just be them and the sycophants and the flying monkeys. So
Right, and we
that's
don't want that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes. We can't have it all of the ways.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, Lana, here's the first clip. I know you saw it. Some of you many of you may have seen this, but this is him talking about when she asked him about the prices of things. People are concerned about the prices of things. And of course, Donald Trump flat out lies about the prices of things. These are the kind of things I wish there was a little bit more pushback, but here's his absurdly ridiculous answer that is very easy to investigate and look up yourself if you want to. I know many people don't like to do it themselves because they like the answer and just want to accept it. But here's his answer on the prices of things, in particular gas.
These are already going up on some popular items. Tires, strollers.
This is such a dishonest interview already. Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down at tremendous numbers for gasoline. And let me tell you, when you have the big thing, what he did, he spent like a stupid person, which he was, but he spent like a very stupid person. And that was bad for inflation. But what really killed us with inflation was the price of energy. It went up to $3.90, even $4, and in California, $5 and $6, right? Okay. I have it down to $1.98 in many states right now. When you go that much lower on energy, which is ahead of my prediction, because I really thought I could get it down into the 250s. We have it down at $1.98 in numerous places. But when you say costs are going up,
$1.90 in many states, Lana. Is it $1.90 up in Massachusetts?
No,
it's not in Florida. I know that.
Cheapest I've seen was like I don't know. I saw $2.97. I may have seen $2.57, but I swear that gas has water in it. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the place we really don't want to go. But I mean, it's not $1 anywhere for certain.
Well, I mean, a couple things there. Number one, generally when he says something like that, the flying monkeys need to back this up. You think that you would have seen all over social media pictures of gas pumps and gas stations where it was showing $1.98, $1.97. Of course, we didn't see anybody do that. But I also think I heard him the other day say that the reason why these gas prices are down is because of drill, baby, drill. First of all, we have not drilled any more. We've drilled more than any president in the history of our president in the history of our country under Joe Biden. And again, the idea that the president has something to do with gas prices dropping, even if they were $1.98, it's not because of Donald Trump.
But he told us, Brian, he said, which is not true, but anything good happening anywhere, he's just going to take the credit. And anything bad happening anywhere at any time, it doesn't matter if it's 3 years into his presidency, 2 years, he's going to blame it on Biden. So, like, he's already told us, like, he's just going to take the credit regardless.
You know how we've called you before the queen of segues? Well, we are segueing into the next clip because that's basically what he just did in one of literally the most amateurish way to answer a question about the economy I've ever heard a president answer it. And if I were to list the top 100 most amateurish answers in the history of our country through a president, Donald Trump would have all 100, but I don't know where I put this one in the top 100, but it's pretty high.
Badly. We'll see how that all turns out, but it's got to be a fair deal.
When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now, and I really mean this. I think the good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy, because he's done a terrible job. He did a terrible job on everything. From his auto pen, which I'm sure he knew nothing about some of the things he was supposedly signing.
But, sir, you acknowledge when you announced your tariffs, for example, the stock market dropped. It's been volatile. It has since gone up.
It is,
do you take responsibility for that? Yeah. Do you take responsibility when it drops?
Ultimately, I take responsibility for everything, but I've only just been here for a little more than 3 months.
basically what you just said. I did everything good. He did everything bad. I know there's a certain amount of people in this country who are going to believe every word I say. That's why I continue to say this nonsense. And I am literally making fools of grown adults in this country.
Literally. Like, how are we even listening to him and like thinking that this is normal? Like, it's dumb talk. Like, it's literally dumb. I don't even know how she does this interview and not bust out laughing. I mean, I know she's trying to act like a shrink as well because she has to figure out how to ask these questions as not to be offensive to him so he doesn't walk away. Like, it's wild. And he says the same thing every time.
I know you are, but what am I? That's what he is. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then he goes and Biden's the worst and he's stupid. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like,
do you think I think people like Kristen Welker, Terry Moran, I think they all have to, usually when you are interviewing the president, you have to be prepared and you want to make sure that you're asking pointed questions that the American people want answers to. And they prepare just for the interview and the questions. But I have to imagine that these interviewers prepare for an interview with Donald Trump, almost like they're preparing for a debate with Donald Trump, with people sitting across from him, pretending to answer the question so they could try to practice on his ridiculous answers.
Yeah. Or like dealing with a toddler. Like, you know what? He starts raising his voice. That means that maybe you should go to the next question because he's hype. Like, seriously, I'm sure, because when she asked him about the economy of the groceries, he started getting hype. Like, he started off saying that was like a stupid question or something. Like, he started like that. So she had to turn around and try to calm him down when he's like, oh, price of gas is low. And she's like, yeah. Like,
yeah, she's even affirmative in the right, which I'm not a big fan of, but you know what? You're right. Let's not nitpick every little thing because it's impossible to interview the guy. You just can't.
It's not easy. And I would call her somewhat of a hero, to be honest, because she really is taking it for the team. And let's really be real. We know Kristen Welker is not a fucking Republican. Like, we know that. And we know her history and where she's come from. She's just trying to do an impossible job right now.
Right. Yeah. I say anybody that's not a flying monkey, it is an impossible job to interview this dude. So, but he had one more, there's one more clip that I have here, Lana, and I found this very disturbing that the president of the United States, especially after it's been in the news for quite some time now, based on his policies, Kristen Welker asked him about due process. And of course, in any normal time, this answer would be stunning and it would be grounds for impeachment, because we basically put somebody in charge who has no idea on what they're talking about. And he says it out loud.
Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people.
By the way, that 1 million, 2 million trials thing is something that the right-wing propaganda media has already come up with, and Donald Trump's just regurgitating it. He has no original thoughts of his own. This is not him saying that.
On earth, but some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get him the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
Is anyone in your administration right now in contact with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia to the United States?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the Attorney General.
I don't know anything.
That's right, man. How many times did he say, I don't know, Lana?
I just don't know anything. I don't know. Where am I? Who are you? Are you Kamala? I'm so confused.
Again, Lana, let's play one of our favorite games. Imagine if fill in the blank said that. Biden, Obama.
I don't know. I don't. The Constitution. I don't know what that is. No, like what the fuck? What do you know?
Bro, these are your policies. The reason why Mr. Garcia and many others are no longer in this country is based on your policy. Why don't you know? I don't understand it.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's Katrina. I think Katrina from TikTok. Hey, Katrina, how are you? Great to see you. If indeed that is you. I hope, I don't know if you've seen the show before, but this is the phenomenal Lana Quest. I always say very nice things about you, Lana. So of course you know that. But yeah, the guy doesn't know. And I have great concerns that we have. Hey, Katrina, I have great concerns that we
millions of trials. Like, where are they getting that from? What is that information? There's no trial. There's no fucking trial. Well, what are we talking about? That a trial? Do they know what a trial is? What the fuck is it? A bench trial? Do they get a jury for every single immigrant? Like, what are we talking about? The hearings that last all of 5-10 minutes? Like, stop playing. There's an immigration bill. Have we forgotten? That sits around somewhere, that the bipartisan one that wants more judges and more people so they can do more of these hearings faster. Well, that's just sitting there. Well, why aren't we doing anything with that?
Because that is not their policy, even though it's not a real policy, is just to continue to scare dumb white people. That's what it is. And they need to keep up this ruse that it is an attack on this country. It's an invasion from immigrants who are here to cause problems. This is why he invoked the Aliens Enemy Act, because he said it was an invasion from basically bad people. And the bad people that they decided on was a gang from Venezuela. And it is just so insane that they could get away with this nonsense. But it's ironic that we're going to stay on the I don't know train. And this time the conductor is the transportation secretary. This is another stunning interview. He was on with Laura Ingraham, who I at least will give her credit, on Fox News. She pushed back on him and is like, why do you not know the answers to these questions? Now, apparently there's some generals that were flying around in helicopters when they were saying they could easily take other vehicles. And we don't know why these generals that apparently they want to fire now are flying around in helicopters. But this was the discussion. And again, find it very interesting that we have another person in a very important position who does not know the answers to this woman's questions.
Question becomes, who are the
VIPs? No. Why does that do that to me, Lana? You'd think I'd have this perfected by now. All right, let's try again. You ready?
The question becomes, who are the VIPs? Is it a 2-star, 3-star general? There's a lot of traffic going into the Pentagon. The top brass at the White House, they take a Suburban or a Tesla or they take their own car. Who do these generals think they are that they have to take helicopters to go to meetings or go to air? I don't know who it was. We should find out. And well, the DOD
who do we ask? I mean, you're the transportation secretary. How do you not know?
The FAA doesn't know. We asked the DOD. The DOD has promised radical transparency. They should tell us who is qualified to take a helicopter out of the Pentagon. I don't know, but they have to tell us.
Well, could you just call up HEGSA?
Well, I should actually. Why don't
you call him right now?
You call Pete.
Okay, I got it. I got the five.
I mean, that guy, it was a MTV.
Contact him on Signal. You'll find him there.
Yeah. You just go right to Signal. That's all you got to do. And you probably were part of that chat somewhere anyway, and that just wasn't reported yet. That's exactly right. Just find him on Signal. Lana, we have a guy that was on MTV reality show, is now the transportation secretary. Yeah. He doesn't know. Did you even see Laura Ingram's face? She's like, wait a minute. How is this possible? How do you not know the names?
I don't know.
I don't know.
How do you not know names? Why the fuck are you guys firing air traffic controllers? Why is Newark going dark? Why are planes falling out the sky? Because why? No one knows. No one's speaking. Trump has not spoken about this. What? Like, who?
Do you know why? Because he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
I don't know administration.
He would have been like, huh? What happened? No, I know I did not hear about that. I'll look into it. Like, what the fuck is happening? And they're really talking about Biden. This is like, I can't even wrap my head around why the earth is like, hasn't crumbled into, so like, I can't even like, I don't know. I don't know. Why we're still standing. Like, I really don't know why America is like still on the face of the earth right now, because I don't know who's running shit.
Lana, I don't know. We can't. I don't know is the theme, obviously, and maybe this is a strategy to get everybody to just walk around and say, "I don't know. I have no idea." Did you ever heard of that movie Idiocracy?
I don't know.
Should we just wrap up? I don't think we're going to figure anything out for the rest of this evening. I really don't. Idiocracy is a comedy, and it is so outrageous that it basically was America in the future. And everybody was so dumb. They didn't know anything. The creator of Beavis and Butthead made it. And it's a dumb movie. It's really dumb, but it feels more like a documentary now. Like the president was just this wild, crazy dude running around with a chainsaw or whatever. And they were comparing that movie to a lot of this administration, like Elon Musk with the chainsaw and Hulk Hogan. The president in that movie was almost like Hulk Hogan-like. And it was just, it just showed how crazy and ridiculous this country will go, because it appears to be getting dumber and dumber by the day. And this movie was made like 15, 20 years ago. And now you look at it now and you're like, nope, this isn't a comedy anymore. This is a documentary on what's going on. Keystone Cops, Katrina. Yes. And we are living it. It's unbelievable. And I don't know, you would think as an grown adult that you'd be insulted at some point, but no, you're not only not insulted, you are fully on board, and you're going to be the first line in the Flying Monkey Army, which again is something I just will not understand. Lana, the new Prime Minister of Canada, who by all signs won in a blowout because of the rhetoric of Donald Trump. It is my understanding that there was a possibility the other gentleman that lined more with Donald Trump could have won had Donald Trump just kept his mouth shut. But he went full on against Canada, and Canada turned on their Canadian pride. See, they did the right thing when they heard rhetoric and ridiculousness and things that just do not fly with them. And they're like, oh no, if this is the guy that aligns with the guy who says we're going to become the 51st state, and they're calling Justin Trudeau the governor instead of being respectful like every other American president had been, then we are going to make sure that he does not get in. And the prime minister called Donald Trump and said, I want to come see you. And sure enough, he did. And here was part of the meeting today. The first part is Donald Trump rambling on like an idiot, where this poor guy has to sit next to him with the, oh my God, I can't fucking believe this guy is president look on his face. But let's listen to Donald Trump first, and then we will listen to the new PM of Canada.
Very friendly. We're not. This is not going to be like we had another little blow up with somebody else. That was a much different. This is a very friendly.
Talking about Zelensky.
Conversation, but we want to make our own cars. We don't really want cars from Canada, and we put tariffs on cars from Canada. And at a certain point, it won't make economic sense for Canada to build those cars. And we don't want steel from Canada because we're making our own steel, and we're having
massive steel plants being built right now as we speak. We really don't want Canadian steel, and we don't want Canadian aluminum and various other things, because we want to be able to do it ourselves. And we, because of, you know, past thinking of people, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. In other words, they have a surplus with us. And there's no reason for us to be subsidizing Canada. Canada's a place that will have have to be able to
you know what, Lana?
take care of itself.
It doesn't even matter what he's saying at this point.
Cars. We don't really
I can't stop looking. I heard him when he said, "Oh yeah, it's a new and improved Oval Office. Yeah, 24 karat." I'm like,
all gold and
gaudy motherfucker. You're sitting here in 24 karat gold while you're telling Americans, "Oh, your kids can only get 3 pencils and 2 instead of 250, but I'm gonna outfit the Oval Office in 24 karat fake gold." Like, stop playing with me right now.
Donna, it is insane. But the new prime minister did speak, and he had this response to Donald Trump to basically just let him know your rhetoric about taking over Canada is not happening, and we are not for sale.
As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, you know, Buckingham Palace, that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have.
You know, everything's all psychology with this idiot, Lana, is you have to show a little bit of praise, because even though you got to swallow your pride a little bit and say, I know this guy's a moron, I know how we can get into his brain. You know, Trump is not talking all badass when this guy is in a room with him one-on-one, because he knows he's not smarter than this guy. He knows he doesn't even know what he's saying when he's talking to a real leader. Absolutely. And that's what it comes down to is he's just like, let me just say this. Let me get in front of the American people and the cameras, make it clear that we are not for sale, and that I'm not going to be pushed around. I will be cordial with you, and you're going to be cordial with me.
I'm surprised he got that in, because I listened to it and I'm just like, this is unbelievable, because Trump rambled on for 40 minutes and Prime Minister didn't get to say anything. It's almost like it was planned, and it probably was, because remember, normally they speak after the meeting. This is before the meeting. Right. Like, Trump spoke for 40 minutes before the meeting about everything in the economy and the eggs and how bad Biden, like all of this shit that had nothing to do with what was happening right here. Then he said the Houthis just called and said that they gave up and they're not going to be bombing anymore. Wait, who said that, Mr. President? I don't know. I just heard it. It's just like,
Lana, what did I tell you? You are the queen of segues. We might as well run this absurd clip where, again, the I don't know show continues.
It's hilarious because he didn't even plan this.
No, it's not a deal. They've said, please don't bomb us anymore, and we're not going to attack your ships.
And where did you hear about that?
It doesn't matter where I hear it. The very good source, I could tell. Very, very good source. Would you say, Marco? I would say pretty good, right, JD? A very good source.
How about having zero pride in yourself at all to sit there?
Yes, Daddy.
Yep. It sure is, Daddy. Yes. Yep. Can I please spend the night at my friend's house, please? That's exactly. It's so pathetic. Like, how do grown men allow themselves to be treated like that? Is the power that important? Although I will, part of it too, Lana. Again, I said it earlier. It's the psychology. These two can't stand Donald Trump. JD Vance and Marco Rubio think he is a fucking moron. And if he were to drop dead tomorrow, those two would get together and celebrate if he did. And I think the power is important enough for them that they know that once we get past this fucking moron, and if we can continue to hold on to power, then you and I will really have the power that we want to have. Donald Trump is almost in the way of them a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's absolutely what they're talking about, because we know both of them are going to run.
Yep.
These two people are going to run.
Yeah. There's no question about it. And, I do feel, I think they only keep him around because he is the empty-headed vessel, and that he will do whatever they tell him. All they have to do is go, yes, sir, when they ask the stupidest fucking questions in the world, and you point at Marco and you point at JD, no difference. It doesn't even matter what he said. You're just going to go, yes, sir, that's absolutely right. Didn't even hear the question, but yep.
Hilarious. He said the Houthis, what they just called, they're like, yeah, please stop bombing. Like, that's what they did. Like,
yeah.
And then you believe that that's what they're going to do. Like, what are we talking? He's like the worst president on the planet. Like, what the fuck is
same guy, Lana, that said on True Social, he's working out the kinks on the Ukraine-Russian war by saying, Vladimir, please stop. Please stop is what he said. Wonder how many times Cheeto has called JD Mike Pence. Probably many times. No question about it.
Yeah.
I think when he tried to introduce him one time on stage, he called him JB something, and it wasn't even close to Vance. Mandel, JB Mandel, because he was mixing up the guy he was running against. And this was over 4 years ago. So don't tell me this guy doesn't have dementia. All right. Last week on the show, we didn't play any Trump clips. So we were Trump free, but this one is full of them because he was on the batshit crazy train, as he always is. And this one was a big deal in the Catholic community when he thought it was funny to post an AI picture of himself as the Pope. As we all know, Pope Francis just passed away.
The poop or the poop? The poop or the Pope?
The poop. The poop. the wannabe Pope.
Oh.
The wannabe Pope. The wannabe. Wait. Poop put up. Now I'm confused. But this idiot put up an AI generated picture of him as the Pope. And I'm not a religious guy, but in the Catholic community, apparently this did not fly over very well. Somebody asked him about it, Lana, and of course, more nonsense. He gets offended this time and is like, oh, how you people can't take a joke.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet.
He had nothing to do with it. He posted it on his Truth Social, and it was also on the White House thing. By the way, the guy to his right, that is the commissioner of the National Football League, Peter Rozelle, and I guess they were announcing that they are going to do the NFL draft in Washington next year. I don't know why you need to go to the fucking White House to announce that, but another pathetic dude standing behind him, and watch him just laugh at everything Donald Trump says like a pathetic flying monkey.
That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI.
Of course, the woman behind him is completely like, oh my God, please, let's get past it.
I wonder who it is, because she does look like this is very painful.
I don't know if she is with Roger Gazelle. I don't know if she's with him or not. I'm gonna find that out. But she does. She's like, this is painful.
I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening.
He knows nothing about it.
Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, isn't that nice?
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of. No. I think it's a fake news media that.
What's that, Lana?
I was just looking at the Black woman. It's just like, why am I here? Like, she's so uncomfortable. And she looked like she's got that face of, I hope my family does not see this.
Yep. No question about it. She's got the look of.
Oh, wait, is that the mayor of, maybe that's why? Because
maybe.
Football, yes, that's who she is. Because I think she
She's the mayor of DC?
I think so. Yes, I'm pretty sure because she went to see him before when he was a president, and she was telling people I had to go because I have to make sure my constituents are taken care of. So I have to meet with him. So that makes sense if she's there. And if they're gonna have the football, whatever, that looks like Muriel Bowser. That's got to be her.
Is that that it does
Bowser.
yeah. That's
and
her.
And that's why she has the pin, right? She's got to be working in government if she's got a flag pin. That is her.
Yep. And there's no way she's a Republican in DC. There's just no way.
That's why her face is just like,
yep.
We want to get out of here. But she has to do. And again, this is what I say about our party. Like they get mad at Gretchen.
Whitmer.
Yeah. Right. They're mad at her for meeting with him. You know, they get mad at her because she's there. But these are people who have to deal with him. You can't not ignore him. Like Gretchen was there. She got money for that military base that she needed. Like she literally got the money. Doesn't mean she agrees with his policy. It means that she's working for her constituents.
I think everybody's on edge and they're just looking for things to nitpick. Maybe when she gives him a hug, they're like, why is she hugging this vile piece of shit?
It's not even edge. Democrats are just like, we think too much. It's stupid. It's almost like when Obama and Trump, they had that still picture. And then like, what's his name? Krasenstein or whatever he is on Twitter, that big account was like, you can't trust him. And it's like, it's a picture. You don't even know what's being said right now. Like, but we can't trust Obama because he's laughing with or at.
Right. Right. Exactly. And we've said that before. You're talking about the funeral, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that. We're like, first of all, Barack Obama is just, he's a smooth, and he's not there to have beef with anybody at a funeral. So if he's just talking and he does a fake laugh at what Donald Trump says, who gives a shit? You're right. I mean, maybe they're overpicking sometimes.
It's over. It's too much. It's clear that she's uncomfortable.
I don't even remember what the rest of this is. Let me think. Let me see if there's anything interesting left. You talk.
My question, though, sir, was about the fact that it was put out on the White House account. Even though it was AI generated, it was a joke, it was a meme. Does it at all diminish the substance of the official White House account to have it go out on that particular channel?
Give me a break. It was just somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you?
Yeah. You know, most presidents would have said if something like that happened, if it leaked out and somebody did it, of course they would have said, listen, if anybody was offended by that, I sincerely apologize. And that was not the intent. Why is that so hard?
Because he doesn't care. I mean, he literally retweeted a picture of Nancy Pelosi's face in a bullseye.
Right.
So what does he care?
Yep. True Social making fun of the hammer attack on her husband. I mean, these are just vile, awful people. And this is the same reason when they always say, why can't we find common ground? These are the reasons why you can't find common ground. You have a guy that just will never take responsibility for anything. And it's absurd. And he's the president of the United States. And I just don't, it like I said, kind of shatters the human soul that you have people that say, yes, this is the leader that we, not just that we want, that we've been looking for our entire lives. I was never involved in politics before, but now I am, because we have a strong man, and he's really deep down, not even deep down, he's not even close to strong. He's weak and pathetic. He's not smart. He's not strong. He's not any of the things that he builds himself up to very vulnerable people.
Bully, right?
Yeah.
He's a bully.
Yep.
He's got to where he is because he's a bully, and he knows that he's not good enough. He knows that he's not smart enough. That's why he continues on a loop about how bad everyone else is. Biden's horrible. Obama's this. Jasmine Crockett is stupid. This person is dumb. Because he knows he is all of those things, and he's trying to convince us that it's them and not him. Like he has to live with that. And I think that kind of gives me pleasure, because no matter how much that man has, no matter how much he grifts, his kids grift the billions of dollars, he's not happy. You can look at, he's not happy. He's one fucking miserable, fat, orange fuck.
His wife can't stand him. That's clear.
He's unhappy. You never see him with a laugh. He's always uncomfortable. And that's part of probably why he continues to steal and grift. He's like that person who just keeps need to make money and do this and do that, just wanting to feel better. And he's just never, he already knows he's not shit. He knows he ain't shit. He's gonna die knowing that he ain't shit. Gives me pleasure, that part.
And that's why he needs the constant adulation to make up for the fact that he knows that he just cannot compete. He cannot measure up. And if he at least convinces himself and enough people around him, then that can at least mask the certain insecurities that he definitely has. I mean, this is, neither one of us are psychologists, but this one's pretty easy to kind of see.
And he's not even convincing himself, because he knows that he has to force them to say those things. Like it's all choreographed. So like, that's not even, none of it is so natural. Like he's not even naturally getting, like he's freaking 80 or whatever. He knows when someone's like, Donald Trump has the best economy ever, like Bondi, like looking on his nut. Like we know, he knows why they're doing it.
Does it get to a point where he convinces himself though? Is it possible if you do it over and over and over again, you almost convince yourself?
They say he's a narcissist, so maybe, but I think that he knows he ain't shit. I'm pretty sure his daddy told him he wasn't shit.
Yeah.
And that's part of his problem. Like he knows he's not shit. Like,
maybe that's where, probably where it started from, because he knows his father, even though he was a piece of shit as well, he was a real businessman. He actually made it. He knew what he was doing. And Donald Trump knew his entire career that he was a shit businessman because he failed literally on every venture he tried to put his hands on. He had to continue. I always hear the story. He got $1 million from his father. No, he didn't get $1 million from his father. He had to continue to borrow money up until his dad's death. And his dad passed away with Donald Trump still owing him up to $15 million because he would always fail. And not only did he owe his father millions of dollars, he owed banks multi-millions of dollars. And he just knew he was not good. He was always outplayed by, anybody else. And so when he would make these deals, he would try to come out of it feeling like, I got the best of this deal, while the people that made the deals with him were laughing. They're like, you're a clown, dude. You're just a clown.
Yeah. And
that's why you would take advantage of the smaller businesses.
Exactly. And that's how we know that he knows he has not convinced himself of anything. So I think us calling him a narcissist, I don't know if that's the right term, because he definitely has low self-esteem. Like we think that he has high, but he's that bullying and all of that. I don't see it. I think that's why he's cheating at golf. Why is he cheating at golf? Because he knows he's not good at it. Right? Like he knows. So he knows when everyone sees him cheat, but then turns around and goes, great game, great game.
Not only that, they call him the club champion.
Yeah, he knows that they're doing that just because that they have to do that to come back to his club, to be in the proximity of blah, 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 blah. Like, so I kind of think he knows that they think that he ain't shit. Like, they know that he knows. He heard them say, he heard Marco Rubio, what Marco Rubio called him. He knows JD Vance called him an American Nazi. Like he knows.
Right, right. Well, I mean, if there is any suffering going on inside of that head, let you know what. How about if you and I will just officially say that that is the case, so it will make us feel a smidge bit better. That's what I'm officially going to do.
Businesses are going to go out of business too when he's not president. Like just like the hotel in DC, I'm pretty sure that resort that he's putting up in Qatar and those other luxury hotels he's got going on in the Middle East, I'm pretty sure those things are going to sink.
If he destroys, because then the name really isn't. So the name was, it's so funny is because the only reason why he was able to stay afloat was because of his name. The one thing he was able to do was market himself as a real billionaire. And so when all these hotels that he had his name on were being foreclosed upon, they would say, okay, at least you still have the name. So what we'll do is we'll pay you royalties to keep your name on here. So we don't have to foreclose. We don't have to do any of that stuff. So he actually became more of a marketer than he did a real estate agent or a real estate mogul. You know, all these names that he has on he doesn't own nearly any of those. He doesn't even own the Trump Tower anymore. And this wasn't because he sold them because he was president. It was because he failed constantly. But now he's a billionaire again because he's suckered people by buying stock in his meme coin and in his True Social and his golf club. And it's a big grift. And the fact that grown adults have no problem being taken advantage of. And that's the other question too, Lana. Do they even know?
Yeah, that's a whole different that's a whole different beast to supporters. Some know, some don't. Some just believe everything that comes out of his mouth because white men tell the truth. Rich white men don't lie, I guess.
Yep, no question about it. And there's absolutely no way that Donald Trump could be anything more than what he tells us because he shows us the helicopter. He shows us the Trump plane. He shows us all the gold. And that's where I'm going to be someday, even though I'm 65 years old and I got nothing in savings account. And, you know, it's just the people, there's this American dream that everybody still thinks they're going to get to. But in order to get there, sometimes you have to either literally be working constantly every day and work hard and get there and not care about anybody, or you happen to have a very rich father who leaves you a $400 million+ inheritance. And that seems to be the best way to do it. But last clip here, Lana, you were talking about Pam Bondi. I was thinking about it earlier. We have a lot of crazy sycophants in the MAGA world. And we could probably build a Mount Rushmore, the Marjorie Taylor Greene. Who else would be on there? The people who just really kisses. I mean, there's some people who are jockeying. You see Kristi Noem is losing her mind. Pete Hegseth is, all these guys that are just bowing down to him. So to come up with the Mount Rushmore may take us a little bit of time, but I definitely say the Marjorie Taylor Greene is up there. Pam Bondi is making a run at, she is on TV constantly, making a run at being one of the craziest people in the history of our politics. And when she talks, Lana, at the camera, she is talking with anger. She is talking with, you better listen to what I'm saying or else there's going to be consequence sort of attitude. And
that woman Levitt, what's her name? Karen Levitt.
Caroline Levitt. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how they're all doing it. It is this attitude like, we're in charge now, fuck faces, and you guys got away with lying to the American public. Now we are going to step up the lying game to a point where you are never going to believe that anybody can lie so much. So you think that you guys were able to do it, which they really weren't. We are going to do it any way we want to. Pam Bondi, even though she is stepping up her game as being a crazy sycophant, she seems to have an issue with math. And you could see JD Vance's face when she brings up the statistics about fentanyl coming into this country. They're pretty amazing, Lana. Let's listen to Pam and listen to the tone in her voice. She is pissed that anybody would even like argue with what she's trying to say here.
100 kilos of fentanyl since you've been your last 100 days, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day because they're taking this junk laced with something else. They don't know what they're taking. They think they're buying a Tylenol or an Adderall and a Xanax, and it's laced with fentanyl, and they're dropping dead, and no longer because of you, what you've done.
258 million lives have been saved, Lana. There's 330 million people in the United States.
I was just about to say, how many people in the United States?
That is over, I believe, 75% of the population would be dead had it not been for Donald Trump.
Right. And she said it with such authority. Like, what specifically is he doing about fentanyl? Because last I heard, we were cutting programs. Last I heard, like vital programs. Last I heard, he actually pardoned that guy. I forget his name. That was on the dark web selling fentanyl. Like, he pardoned that guy. So I'm just really confused about what the fuck she talking about. Like,
Lana, you're not confused. There's no policy. They're making up these numbers. First of all, it's impossible to save 200 whatever million lives, because that means 75% of the population would have been dead prior to him coming into office. This is so stupid. And you know, there are people going around this country saying that, yes, he saved this many lives. What is happening?
It's just the number doesn't even sound right. Like, right away, something should click and go, 250 million? That's a lot of people. Like, how did he save that amount of lives in 3 months? Like, that just, like, that alone doesn't make sense, right? Like, not to mention how many people are actually in America, but that alone doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And did you see JD Vance's face when she said it? He was even like, wait, he kind of had that look like
the math. He's doing the math. Yeah. Like, that's outrageous.
Yeah. Well, this is we got 4 years of this, Lana, where they're just going to constantly tell us how great they've been doing. We heard the clip earlier where, all the good things about the economy are me. All the bad things about the economy are Biden. I mean, it's childish. It's insane. But unfortunately, we have a lot of people in this country that believe everything that they say. And these are the obstacles that we're going to have to jump for at least 3 more years. Hopefully we can lower those obstacles in 2026, which is about 18 months from now, and maybe win the House and win the Senate and get back to some sort of normalcy. But I don't know, man. I think we're in pretty big trouble. Katrina says if she gets rich, she promised she's not going to gold gifting all over her house. It is very, very tacky. But that's been him. I mean, everything about him is all show, and it's all. And what's funny is there's a story in that book I read that there's a painting that he had in his house, and it was an investor and somebody else. It was somebody from another country. And the guy got out his phone. He was going to take a picture of the art that was on his wall. And Donald Trump said, no, don't take that picture. And the reason why is because they verified later that they were like, they knew it was fake. It wasn't the real thing. And he's got the knockoff art up there that isn't even real. Everything is for show. The Trump Tower, when it was built, it could look very fancy from the inside or the outside, but the inside was all garbage. They would never do any renovations on anything. They would let things peel off, and you would walk in, it would just look terrible.
Look at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, and more garbage.
Yeah, we see glimpses. Look at the bathroom.
Bathroom,
like Hugh Hefner from the 70s. Like, that shit was like 70s porn. Like,
they had a shower curtain that it looks like a college student would have bought for his apartment.
Like he got the big exit signs, and I'm like, what the hell? What building has these things anymore? It's so gross.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like I said, he's a fraud and he's a phony, but that's been Donald Trump his whole life, and we've got to deal with this for a little while longer. And there's some, I don't know, Lana. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we have to survive. That's
none of us know. Lana, I saw that you've been on your show
last
you were
week.
on. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you write down notes? Do you have a show planned for this Thursday? Uh-oh.
I've been recruiting from my group, man. I've been a recruiting monster. We got to get rid
Very
of
busy.
Yeah. Maybe
Are you getting the numbers up with the group?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
We got like 4 new members in a few days.
Good.
Just training them, getting them in the rooms and ready.
Well, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, we are talking about the Quest show, and that is Lana's own show. And Lana started her show before we started this one. So
I was actually talking about my Twitter group, but you were talking about the Quest show, I guess.
No, I was. I knew you were talking about the. I knew you were talking about the Twitter group. Yeah.
Well, keep going.
Yeah. But what I was saying is that Lana's got a phenomenal show, and she does it. I was about to say every Thursday.
Every other
Thursday, or whenever the fuck she wants to do it. And whenever she feels like it. I always know on Tuesday night, if she writes down some notes, it's a very good chance that she's going to do it on Thursday night. If there's no notes, then she's like, then don't even. But still, regardless, whether she does a show or not, just go there. You can find the description down below. You should be able to find the link in the description down below to her show. Lana would love it if you went there and subscribe to her show, watch the clips, and watch her show live, because she does it Thursday night Eastern Standard Time at 7:00. You can hit the notification bell. It'll tell you right when she comes on. And then, of course, we do our show every Tuesday night, unless there's a Celtic game that is going to impede on that particular night. If there is, then we will adjust the schedule. But check us out Tuesday nights, 7:00. And Lana, anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, you said it all.
You say, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. I don't know why we're here.
I don't know either. I wonder why. Did I not have enough clips tonight? We only did an hour.
Oh, we did really good. Normally we go over.
Yeah, we did. We got 1, 2. All right. Same amount of clips, but we just flew through them.
Shorter.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lana, listen, you're the best. And I'm sure I'll talk to you. We'll interact somewhere during the week. I'm sure, especially tomorrow night when the Celtics better fucking win game 2.
We have.
And let's get back on track here, because that really upset me. That pissed me off a lot.
Me too. But nobody wants to hear about Celtics. Everyone's haters. And it's like New York fans, they take one win and it's just like, you would have thought they won the championship. I'm like, okay, it's one win. Relax.
Right. I mean, it's relaxed. First of all, you missed 45 3-pointers and you only won by 3. So I would imagine the Celtics are going to come out tomorrow on fire and come back and tie the series up at 1. So yes, Katrina, it is called the Quest Show. And Katrina, I can send you a link as well.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Hell yeah. You kidding me? So anyway, but thank you guys for watching. Lana, I'll talk to you soon. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics. Bye, Katrina. Thank you. Bye, Brian.
Good night.